Hey, welcome back to the Shimmy Show. This is another one of those random, obscure episodes, like I keep talking about. Once again, the purpose of the show, my little podcast here, is to just talk about shit that most people don't talk about, or something I can't find any other data or results, or very few, or I'm not satisfied with it. So, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, today I'm watching YouTube again. It's playing in the background on another screen. And it's about, what is this thing titled? I'm looking at the screen now. It says Ethiopian couple. The title of it on YouTube, it says Ethiopian couple says, "We cut the heads off our oppressors. We are not slaves like you all. ISUPK, ISUPK, I'm not sure what that stands for. Anyway, it's a YouTube video. Looks like a bunch of black people arguing in the streets. Yeah, they're arguing, but I mean, like, these are these guys that preach on the street corners. I don't know what the fuck they're called. They look like the Mortal Kombat guys. They're like, you know. Anyway, but I'm like, I like to watch a lot of Ethiopian stuff on YouTube and shit, so this came up in the results. So I played it, and it's basically Ethiopian Americans arguing with black folks, AAs, African Americans. I really don't like saying African Americans. You know, that's such like a double nigger word. It's just say black. It's cool. Okay. Whenever I hear somebody say African American, I mean, it just kind of makes me curl. Like, you premeditated something else, but you want to say it, but you know, you shouldn't have to filter yourself, basically, if you're cool with people. So yeah, man, call it what it is. Black, white, whatever. Anyway, that's my thought on that. Anyway, this video it makes me think about this whole slavery topic they're talking about. You know, this is all that black people seem to want to talk about is slavery. You know, like I say, if you guys don't know my background, I'm I'm probably like, I got to do that damn 23 whatever GDNA test shit. But I'm like, my father's from Africa, you know, Ethiopia. My mom's Black American. You know, I'm half and half, whatever. But for the most part, I've identified with being black because, you know, I'm around black people, etc. Like, fucking all my life for the most part, socialized or whatever, right? But I don't exactly look it. I'm not that dark, and I got like weird fucking Arab features and shit. You know, I'm a weird looking nigga, basically, short, and I run like most Ethiopians. So anyway, yeah, that's a little bit of background. So this is why I bring this up. Man, black people are forever, when I say black people, I mean black Americans, they're forever on the topic of slavery and civil rights. You know, it's like forever on the forefront. Every time I go to any family members, friends' house, whatever, I mean, they're not still playing Martin Luther King and shit like that, but there's just the current state of affairs on everything. Like, they just don't let that shit go. You know, it's just slavery, this, that, the other, and all the media they consume, it seems to be geared towards the slavery, civil rights, black power era, all the 70s, 60s, like just shit from generations before when they weren't even alive. And it makes me wonder, like, why are they still stuck in the past like that? That's fucking crazy. I just don't understand it, you know. This is my mom's side of the family here, you know. It's like, yeah, they're college educated, you know, most have fucking master's degrees and shit like that, multiple degrees. They're not stupid people, but I mean, it's like, it's the general topic of discussion, black women in particular, all the time. It always is going back to some like color purple type of shit, you know. It's just on the forefront. I don't understand the whole not wanting to get with modern times or whatever. It's really weird. So anyway, here's the thought about slavery, since they're always talking about slavery and shit. If you think back to the classic scene on Roots, where it shows like, you know, the white guys going in the bush, the Dutch, European fucking white guys, they're going to like fucking throw a net over Kunta Kinte in the jungle and all that. It later has been like, you know, revealed, or even common sense would tell you that this is not too accurate. You know what I'm saying? It's like later on, academics would say, no, it was really the Africans who sold black people into slavery in America, you know, willingly and knowingly. Maybe not knowing they're going to America, but they probably definitely co-signed or got some money for, you know, putting them on that fucking boat. So that's West Africans for you too. You know, I mean, this Africa's a big motherfucking continent, so you know, it's very, you know, West Oakland is way different than East Oakland. Okay, real talk. So it's like, yeah, man. But thinking back now, all right. If somebody, let's bring this up in modern day times now, all right? Let's say somebody came up to me, you know, a guy from fucking some other fucking faraway land you don't know shit about or whatever. Let's say this guy came here with a fucking spaceship, right? And he says to me, hey, I'm going to take all the problematic niggers out of your life, and I'm going to pay you some money for them too, and you'll never have to see them again. I wonder now, how many people would take this gentleman up on such an offer that seems like, at least at that particular time, it's a no-lose situation. From what I understand about the slavery days is the slave trading days, you know, 1600s and all that. It might have been long before that in Africa. I mean, slavery is a worldwide thing, but back in those days, makes you wonder. These people, I was told that, or at least nobody was alive then, so no one can believe these records. Who knows? But like, I'm reading that you know, it was like warring tribes. They, you know, prisoners of war or whatever. These people were like already slaves or servants or, you know, like POWs to begin with anyway. You know what I'm saying? Or they were maybe the guys that they just got sold out or whatever. You never know. I mean, there could have been some nepotism. Somebody might have wanted to topple a city, government, chiefs. I have no idea how West African politics worked back then. Sure, there was probably more to it than what they would show you in Roots. I mean, it's more than fucking mud huts and shit. But you have to remember, they have boats and ships, so they're going to a coast. You know, the coast of most places is not very developed for obvious reasons because, you know, the fucking waves knock shit down. You know, they do that in Thailand, it does that anywhere. So the interior and other parts probably were not exploited as much. I would assume so. I would assume that the brunt of you know, the slave trade must have come directly from the beach coastal towns or whatever. I mean, this is like a discussion I had often. You know, it's like, I mean, this is like serious shit that I talk about with other expats or whatever, about people's origins and things of that nature. You know, there's one lady once, who's a much older lady. She was in, the fuck was she from? Somewhere over in Europe, one of the smaller, like, stand countries, like Uzbekistan or some shit like that. But it was like this highly educated lady. And she's telling me about this theory she has that all coastal people, as in like beach town people, since like they're in a beach town at a particular time, have this knack for being like lazy slash, you know, just picture like Hawaiian surfer dude kind of guys, you know, maybe just like me. Hey, who the fuck knows? But, you know, you know what I'm saying? But generally, like, say if you live on a fucking island, a tropical island, a warm coastal place with nice beaches and shit, those are not the kind of people that are going to become agrarian. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to be working in construction, railroads, whatever the fuck they did, manufacturing back in that particular time. So generation after generation of beach people basically are what, you know, the Caribbean and all the, you know, whatever surrounding Brazil, Africa's coast, Europe's coast, Asia's coast, whatever. If it's a fucking nice island on the equator or whatever, the people are not going to be as hardworking because they don't really have to be. They can fish. They can, they got exercise, good, usually the fruit, all kinds of good shit from just good weather, and life is not as harsh as maybe somebody living up in the mountains or in the interior or on plains or, like more harsher, fucked up environments, like America, for example, or Canada even, it's like, if you live somewhere where shit's rough, you gonna have to work. Basically, the beach, you ain't really got to work that much. So one of this lady's theories is that the black people from West Africa, the beach coastal people, whatever they're called over that area, the whole slave triangle trade shit they talked about from going to the Dominican Republic, Haiti, Brazil, and the Afro-Caribbean diaspora and all this shit they talk about or whatever. It's just, a lot of people got moved around on boats, is the bottom line or whatever. But my point the lady's trying to make is that she's telling me that West African people would have been probably, even though they might have been the most physically capable for, slavery in America, cotton and shit, like whatever the purpose was at the time, for labor, they still might not have been the, how they say, since they're on the beach town, they don't have like the work ethic or the you know what I'm saying? It's like she's trying to explain to me basically like the West Africans brought to America were like the lazy Africans, and not so many. She's trying to be nice about it or whatever, but I got the gist of what we were discussing or whatever. I'm like, I'm missing something I have to process. You know what I'm saying? Because again, observing people on islands and shit like that, they're just chill. They don't want to work. They've never had to work. They're whatever. And if that's the descendant, I'm not saying the black people didn't work hard. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying maybe it had not been bred in them over the last 400 or 500 years or longer since being here that, whatever. If coconuts and shit fall out of the sky and bananas or whatever are everywhere, and you know what I'm saying, life is good and fishing's good, who the fuck would want to be a hard worker? So yeah, the forced servitude slavery shit, I don't know, man. There must have been a reason. There had to have been a reason other than war and tribal conflicts and coup d'etats and all that shit back in the 1600s or whatever. There had to be some other reason other than the financial incentive, I'm sure, that these West Africans wanted to get rid of their undesirable West African people to who would probably look exactly like them, but for some reason they wanted to be like, hey, these people are not a good resource for us. They're just here. They're eating all the food up. I don't know where to go with this. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, if the motherfuckers were like seriously building pyramids and we was kangs, I mean, if they were really developing their society and if shit's like profitable, people generally don't change shit, is my point. So maybe, just maybe, there's a small chance that it was for reasons other than war and hatred and shit like that. Maybe they just were a drag on the society. Who knows? And I'm talking about myself here. I'm not trying to like spare and shit. This is like my own ancestry I'm talking about here too. This is me, myself, my own, I'm really self-reflecting about this shit, So the question that I'm posing is, are black Americans more lazier than other Africans from other parts of Africa because they are from beach, coastal countries and shit? The West Coast, whatever, I actually have not, to this date, well, I take that back. I have met one person only, and that wasn't a very good, this wasn't a very good experience or whatever. But yeah, there's not too many other half black / half Ethiopian people in America. I don't want to say I'm like truly one of a fucking kind, but There ain't too many niggers that look like me, for real. So, but I'm able to see both sides of, with my East African family and West African family. It's a big, huge difference. Big, huge difference. And I'm not just talking about language and foods and shit like that. I'm talking about just general demeanor and outlook on life. And yeah, it's very different. Of course, everyone's totally different, but I mean, this is like a very drastic, almost 180-degree difference. So it's like a very big, ooh. Maybe that's why I'm so fucking crazy. So anyway, yeah, that's my question there. If anybody wants to poke around with that one, hate me for it, love me for it, whatever, but let's talk about it. I'm actually curious on some more theories on this. Or, it's like, if anybody from West Africa can chime in on this, hey, let me know about that too. Curious. I'm just curious. Like, most West Africans are not known for being long-distance runners. It's really about all Ethiopians do. Well, the good long-distance runners, and the girls, they're in all the rap music videos and shit with the big asses and shit. We have big asses. I do too. I can't help it. But I mean, that's just the way Ethiopians look. Quote unquote half good hair, whatever the fuck that means. But yeah, man. That is what it is. All right, let me wrap this up. This has been Shimmy, another episode of The Shimmy Show. And again, that video I'm talking about on YouTube, it's titled Ethiopian Couple. This is all in capital letters, too. I hate when people type in caps. Ethiopian couple says, quote, "We cut the heads off our oppressors. We are not slaves like you all." Quote, ISUPK. I don't know what that is, but that's the title of the video up there, all right? So yeah, peace and hair grease, y'all. Have a good day, good night, and I'm out of here. This podcasting thing's fun. I get to talk to myself. All right, pause, end.